Brilliance Audio presents Snakes and Ladders by Victoria Selman, performed by Karen Cass. I was off the stage before he finished speaking. He'd come all the way from London to Quantico. That's over 8 hours flying time and a 50-minute drive at the end of it. He hadn't pitched up to ask me to a wine and cheese party then. "What's the sit rep, DC Barnwell?" I said as we walked out of the theatre together. He looked surprised. We hadn't gone through intros. "Name's on your visitor badge. Want to tell me what's going on?" A thick beige file stamped with the Scotland Yard logo was clamped to his chest. A cashmere blend coat was draped over his arm, and although his breath was minty, he was giving off a sour smell. He must have come straight from the airport, and his demeanour told me he wasn't planning on getting a room at the Holiday Inn or stopping off for waffles at the IHOP later.
"Is there somewhere we can talk?"
His eyes were bloodshot, with fat sandbags beneath them. He suppressed a yawn. "Let's get some coffee," I said. "Canteen's just down here." He took in the pristine cafeteria with its mounted cereal dispensers, snack baskets, and soda machines.
"Beats the Yard."
The FBI seal dominated the wall behind the gleaming chrome serving station. The American flag hung on a pole beneath it, and a big stars and stripes helium balloon bobbed over the muffin display. On the wall outside was a series of FBI movie posters. J. Edgar, In the Line of Duty, the FBI story, autographed in marker pen by Jimmy Stewart. "Not easy to forget where you are, is it?" I said, handing him a flat white before leading the way to a window table overlooking the Bureau's landscaped gardens. Even at this time of year, the grass was lush. I sat down and took a sip of my espresso. Extra shot. I hadn't slept in my clothes like Barnwell, but I needed a caffeine fix all the same.
"I'm sorry for the interruption back there."
He blew the steam off his coffee.
"I realise you weren't supposed to be coming home for another few months."
Coming home? I raised an eyebrow. So this wasn't just about getting my take on a difficult case. "You're here to bring me back?" He nodded.
"The thing is, this is something only you can help with."
"I'm flattered, Detective, but I'm not the only profiler on the Yard's books."
"Right now, you may as well be."
"I don't understand." His voice changed, his expression too. From the outdoor range came the distant sound of peppered gunfire.
"You've heard about the PRK?"
he said.
"Gord, isn't that an awful nickname?"
He pronounced it Gord. You don't get many posh types at the Yard, but that's not what made my ears prick. The Pink Rose Killer was big news, even on this side of the pond. So far he'd claimed 5 victims over a 4-week period. Each time he cut off a different part of his victim's face, leaving behind a single pink rose on the corpse. And as yet the police had no leads, apart from the Ripper-style messages he'd started sending to Duncan's best friend, Jack Wolfe, over at the Daily Telegraph, after the most recent murder. Though why he was sending them to Wolfie was unclear. I slurped the Kramer off my espresso while stifling a yawn. I'd been having trouble sleeping, my mind fizzing with the lectures I was giving and trying to fight off my black dog. I had nothing on Barnwell, though. The guy looked like he was ready to fall into his coffin. I'm familiar enough with what goes on at the Yard to know he'd have already clocked up a fortnight's worth of 19-hour days, and without an arrest, the pressure wouldn't be letting up any time soon. "Couldn't we have talked on the phone?" I said. "Saved you a trip? They do have video conferencing here, you know." Barnwell looked at his hands.
"The phone call isn't enough. We need you on this, full-time, and given developments, DCI Falcon wanted me to get you up to speed on the way back to London so you can hit the ground running."
He was bouncing his knee up and down. His index finger danced on the table. The killer was on a spree, but these were still relatively early days. So why recall me now? What wasn't I being told? And what made him think I was the only one who could help?